Sure, here's an expanded version of Know Your Worth, Own It in Priyanka Chopra's confident and empowering style. Ladies, let me tell you something, you are a queen. And the moment you truly understand your worth, everything changes. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, it all shifts. And the world, especially the men in it, has no choice but to adjust to that energy. The truth is, the way people treat you is often a reflection of how you see yourself. If you believe you are extraordinary, others will see it too. But if you doubt yourself, if you hesitate, if you shrink into the background, then don't be surprised when the world doesn't put you in the spotlight. Because here's the thing, nobody is going to hand you your crown. You have to place it on your own head. Knowing your worth isn't just about saying, I deserve better. It's about embodying that belief in everything you do. It's in the way you set your standards, in the way you allow people to treat you, in the way you carry yourself in every single situation. When you walk into a room, do you own it? Or do you second-guess yourself? When you're in a relationship, do you feel like you're an equal partner, or are you constantly trying to prove that you're good enough? These small moments define how the world sees you. And let me tell you, when you truly recognize your worth, you won't tolerate anything less than respect. You won't chase people who don't see your value. You won't allow a man to treat you like an option when you should be the priority. You won't keep giving and giving to someone who only takes, because a queen does not beg for love, for attention, or for validation. She simply exists in her power, and the right people recognize it. But let's be honest, knowing your worth isn't always easy. We live in a world that constantly tries to make women feel like they are too much or not enough, too loud, too opinionated, too ambitious, too independent, and yet, in the same breath, we're told we're not smart enough, not pretty enough, not strong enough. Well, here's my response to that: enough is enough. You don't need to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's definition of what a woman should be. You don't need to wait for a man, a job, or society to tell you that you're valuable. You already are. The only thing you need to do is believe it. Own it. Live it. When you start treating yourself like you are worthy, the world will follow suit. You'll see the difference in the way men approach you. The ones who used to take you for granted will suddenly realize that they can't. The ones who played games will quickly understand that you're not here to play along. And the ones who truly see your value, they'll step up or they'll step aside. It's not about arrogance, it's about certainty. A woman who knows her worth walks differently. She speaks with clarity. She moves with intention. She doesn't apologize for taking up space. And that kind of energy is magnetic. It demands respect. So if you've ever wondered why some women get treated like queens while others struggle to be seen, the answer is simple. The world treats you the way you treat yourself. The moment you stop settling for less than what you deserve, the universe has no choice but to deliver more. So stand tall, speak your mind, set your standards. Know that you are enough exactly as you are. And if anyone ever makes you feel otherwise, remind yourself that you are a queen and act accordingly. Because when you do, trust me, the world will take notice. And the men, oh, they will either rise to meet your level or fade into the background where they belong. Your worth is not up for negotiation. Own it. This keeps the bold, empowering, and unapologetic tone that Priyanka Chopra embodies. Does this work for you? Would you like any refinements? Of course, here's an expanded version of Stop Seeking Validation in Priyanka Chopra's empowering and confident style. Listen to me, you don't need anyone's permission to shine. You don't need a man, a friend, or society to tell you that you're worthy. You don't need to hear the words "you are enough" from someone else to believe it. Because the moment you start living for validation, you give away your power. Too often we base our self-worth on how others see us. We crave approval. We want to be liked. We want to hear, "You're beautiful, you're talented, you're special." And when we don't hear those things, we start doubting ourselves. We start asking, am I good enough? Am I lovable? Am I worthy? But let me tell you something, seeking validation from others is like chasing a shadow. No matter how much you run after it, you'll never catch it. The real question is, why do you need someone else to tell you what you already know deep down? Why do you need the world's permission to feel confident? Why are you waiting for applause to believe in your own greatness? You don't need a standing ovation. You just need to own your truth regardless of who claps for you. Because here's the thing, when you constantly seek validation, you become dependent on it. Your confidence wavers when people don't compliment you. Your happiness depends on someone else's approval. Your choices become about what they think instead of what you want. And that's not power. That's imprisonment. Let me give it to you straight. Not everyone is going to like you. And that's okay. Some people will judge you no matter what you do. Wear a short dress. Too much, cover up. Too boring, speak your mind. Too aggressive, stay quiet. Too weak. No matter what you do, there will always be someone who has an opinion about it. So why waste your energy trying to please everyone? You weren't born to fit into someone else's mold. You were born to break it. The moment you stop seeking validation, you free yourself. You stop worrying about whether people approve of you, and you start living for yourself. You start dressing the way you want, speaking the way you feel, and chasing the dreams that make you come alive. And let me tell you, something magical happens when you do that. People respect you more. The right ones will be drawn to you, not because you're begging for their approval, but because you are unapologetically yourself. And the wrong ones, they'll disappear. And trust me, that's a blessing. So how do you stop seeking validation? You start by validating yourself. Every time you look in the mirror, remind yourself, I am enough, I am strong, I am worthy. Every time you feel the urge to ask, what do they think of me? Switch the question to, what do I think of me? Every time you find yourself dimming your light to make others comfortable, remind yourself, queens don't shrink to fit in. They rise to stand out. You don't need a man to tell you you're beautiful. You already are. You don't need social media likes to confirm your worth. Your value isn't measured in numbers. You don't need constant reassurance from friends, family, or society to know that you are doing enough, because you are. And let me be clear, this isn't about arrogance. This isn't about ignoring feedback or thinking you're above everyone else. This is about knowing that your worth isn't up for debate. It's about understanding that external validation is fleeting, but self-worth, that's forever. The day you stop seeking validation is the day you become unstoppable. The day you stop waiting for the world to approve of you is the day you truly step into your power. And trust me, when you do that, people will feel the shift. They'll see a woman who walks with purpose. A woman who doesn't need constant reassurance. A woman who commands respect, not because she asks for it, but because she embodies it. So stop waiting for permission. Stop asking for approval. Stop shrinking yourself just to be accepted. You don't need to be liked by everyone. You just need to love yourself enough to stand tall, even when no one is clapping. Because the moment you do that, the right people will show up. The right opportunities will align. And the men who once took you for granted, they'll realize they lost a queen. And that's their loss, not yours. You are enough. You always were. The only thing left to do now is own it. This speech keeps the bold, empowering, and no-nonsense tone, just like Priyanka Chopra's style. Let me know if you want any adjustments. Sure, here's an expanded version of set boundaries, like a boss in Priyanka Chopra's bold, confident, and empowering style. Let me tell you something powerful. You teach people how to treat you. The way others behave around you, the respect they show, the space they give you, it all comes down to what you allow. If you don't set boundaries, people will cross every line you never drew. They'll take advantage of your kindness, invade your space, and expect you to give endlessly without a second thought. But here's the truth. A queen doesn't let just anyone walk into her castle. She decides who enters, how long they stay, and under what conditions. That's what boundaries are. They're the gates to your peace, your self-respect, and your happiness. And if you don't set them, trust me, people will have no problem walking all over you. Boundaries are not just about saying no to things you don't like. They're about creating a life that honors your worth. They are about knowing what you will and will not tolerate in friendships, relationships, at work, and in every space you step into. A strong woman isn't afraid to protect her energy, and she isn't scared of losing people who can't respect her limits. The problem: many of us were raised to believe that setting boundaries is selfish. That saying no makes us difficult or ungrateful. That standing up for ourselves will push people away. And you know what? Maybe it will, but let them go, because the people who leave when you set healthy boundaries were only there to benefit from your lack of them. A woman who doesn't set boundaries often ends up exhausted, overworked, underappreciated, and taken for granted. Have you ever been in a situation where you kept giving and giving, hoping someone would see your worth, only to be met with disrespect? That's what happens when you don't draw the line. People don't respect what you tolerate, they respect what you enforce. So let's talk about how to set boundaries like a boss. First, stop apologizing for having standards. If you don't want to answer work emails after 7 p.m., don't. If you don't like how someone speaks to you, address it. If you need time for yourself, take it. Your life is yours to protect, and no one else is going to do it for you. You don't owe anyone an explanation for prioritizing yourself. Second, when you say no, mean it. Too often we say no, but then we feel guilty and end up saying yes later. That's a sign to people that your boundaries aren't real. If someone pushes you, stand firm. You don't need to be rude, but you do need to be clear. A confident woman doesn't negotiate her standards. Third, don't be afraid to disappoint people. If setting boundaries makes someone upset, that's their problem, not yours. You are not responsible for managing other people's expectations. The right people will respect your limits. The wrong people, they'll guilt trip you, manipulate you, and try to make you feel bad for putting yourself first. Let them go. Fourth, protect your emotional space. Some people drain you. Some friendships feel one-sided. Some relationships make you feel small. If someone constantly disrespects your time, your energy, or your emotions, they are not entitled to you. You are allowed to distance yourself from people who don't add value to your life. Fifth, boundaries apply in relationships too. Love should never require you to abandon yourself. If a man truly respects you, he will respect your limits. He won't push you to do things that make you uncomfortable. He won't expect you to give up your dreams, your time, or your happiness just to please him. A queen doesn't bend her standards for a man, she finds one who meets them. And finally, setting boundaries doesn't make you unkind. It makes you powerful. The world respects a woman who respects herself. The more you enforce your limits, the more people will admire you, not because you're difficult, but because you know your worth. So let me ask you, where in your life are you letting people cross the line? Where have you been saying yes when you really meant no? Where have you been tolerating things you don't deserve? It's time to stop. It's time to step into your power. The day you set your boundaries is the day you reclaim your self-respect. And trust me, the right people, the ones who truly belong in your life, will respect you even more for it. Because a queen who knows her worth doesn't beg, doesn't compromise on her dignity, and doesn't let just anyone have access to her. Own your space, protect your energy, set your boundaries like a boss, and watch how your world transforms. This keeps Priyanka Chopra strong, fearless, and inspiring tone. Does this work for you? Let me know if you want any tweaks. Sure, here's an expanded version of Be Independent, Unapologetic in Priyanka Chopra's bold, confident, and empowering style. Listen to me, you don't need permission to live life on your terms. You don't need approval to chase your dreams, to stand tall, or to be exactly who you are. You were not born to play small, to wait for someone else to give you a green light, or to be someone's shadow. You were born to shine, to lead, to be your own hero. And the only way to do that, be independent and unapologetic. Independence is more than just being able to take care of yourself. It's a mindset. It's about knowing that your happiness, success, and future are in your hands, not someone else's. It's about making choices that serve you, not waiting for someone to tell you what's right. It's about having your own back, being fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire, and never shrinking yourself to fit someone else's expectations. The truth is, society loves a dependent woman, a woman who needs constant guidance, a woman who waits to be rescued, a woman who is afraid to stand alone. But let me tell you, you don't need saving. You are not a damsel in distress. You are a force of nature capable of creating, building, and leading. The sooner you stop looking for validation or permission, the sooner you step into your real power. And let's be real, some people find independent women intimidating. A woman who doesn't need a man, who makes her own money, who makes her own decisions, that's a woman they can't control. And that's exactly why you should never apologize for being independent. Let's talk about financial independence first. If you want to live life on your own terms, you have to be able to support yourself. Make your own money, have your own bank account. Know how to handle your finances. Because the moment you depend on someone else financially, you give them power over your choices. And trust me, a queen never lets her survival depend on someone else's generosity. When you can provide for yourself, you don't have to stay in a toxic job, a bad relationship, or a situation that makes you unhappy. You have options, and options give you power. But independence isn't just about money, it's about decisions, mindset, and self-worth. It's about knowing that you don't need someone else to make you feel complete. It's about having your own dreams, your own voice, and your own path. Now, let's talk about being unapologetic. How many times have you held yourself back because you were afraid of what people might think? How many times have you dimmed your light just so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable? How many times have you second-guessed yourself because someone made you feel like you were too much? Enough. Stop apologizing for wanting more. Stop apologizing for having ambition. Stop apologizing for not settling. Being unapologetic means owning your truth without guilt. It means walking into a room like you belong there, even if some people wish you didn't. It means knowing that you are worthy of respect, success, and happiness, not because someone else said so, but because you decide so. And let me tell you something important, you don't owe anyone an explanation for your choices. If you don't want to get married right now, fine. If you don't want kids, your choice. If you want to build an empire, travel the world, or change careers, do it. You don't need to justify your life to anyone. Being unapologetic doesn't mean being rude, it means being clear. Clear about what you want. Clear about what you will and won't accept. Clear about where you're going, and the right people. They'll respect that. The wrong ones? They'll try to make you feel guilty. Ignore them. Now, let's address relationships, because let's be honest, an independent woman can shake things up. Some men might feel insecure around a woman who knows what she wants, who isn't afraid to walk away, who doesn't depend on them for happiness. And that's okay. The right man, he will celebrate your strength, not feel threatened by it. He will support your ambitions, not try to hold you back. He will respect your independence, not try to control it. A queen chooses a king, she doesn't beg for one. And if you're single, embrace it. Enjoy it. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. In fact, the most powerful thing you can do is learn how to enjoy your own company. Travel solo. Take yourself out on dates. Build a life that makes you happy, whether or not someone else is in it. The world will always try to tell women to be softer, smaller, quieter, to not be too ambitious, too independent, too strong. But do you know why they say that? Because a woman who knows her power is unstoppable. And some people are scared of that. So don't shrink yourself. Don't wait for approval. Don't water yourself down to make others comfortable. Be independent. Be unstoppable. And most importantly, be unapologetic. Because when you stop asking for permission to live your life, that's when you truly start owning it. This keeps Priyanka Chopra's fearless, empowering, and no-nonsense energy. Does this work for you? Let me know if you'd like any refinements. Love is one of the most beautiful things in the world. It has the power to uplift, inspire, and transform us. It makes us feel seen, valued, and deeply connected. But here's the thing, love should never cost you your identity. You should never have to lose yourself in the name of loving someone else, because real love, it doesn't require you to shrink, to sacrifice your dreams, or to silence your voice. Too often we see people, especially women, give so much of themselves in relationships that they forget who they were before they fell in love. They start making compromises, adjusting their personalities and molding themselves into what they think their partner wants. They forget their passions, their goals, and even their own happiness in an attempt to keep the relationship alive. But love should never demand that you erase yourself. A healthy, fulfilling relationship is built on two whole, complete individuals coming together, not two halves trying to become one. If you have to lose your independence, your self-worth, or your individuality to be in a relationship, then that's not love, that's self-abandonment. 1. Love should add to your life, not take away from it. When you love someone, they should bring more joy, peace, and inspiration into your life, not stress, confusion, and insecurity. A partner should complement you, not complete you. If you feel like you have to give up everything that makes you who you are just to maintain the relationship, then you're not in a partnership, you're in a prison. Love should never feel like suffocation. It should feel like freedom. It should feel like support, not control. The right person will encourage you to grow, to chase your dreams, and to embrace your individuality. The wrong person, they will expect you to fit into their world while forgetting about your own. 2. Never lose sight of your own dreams. Before you met your partner, you had dreams. You had goals. You had a vision for your life. Don't let love blind you into forgetting who you are and what you wanted before they came along. Yes, relationships require compromise, but there's a difference between healthy compromise and losing yourself completely. If you once wanted to travel the world, start a business, or pursue a passion, but now find yourself pushing those dreams aside because your partner doesn't support them, ask yourself, is this love or is this control? True love should empower you to be the best version of yourself. If you feel like your relationship is forcing you to dim your light, then it's time to reevaluate. Because the right partner will never ask you to choose between love and your dreams. They will stand beside you as you chase them. 3. Keep your own identity. You are more than just a girlfriend, wife, or partner. You are a whole person outside of your relationship. You have your own interests, your own ambitions, and your own circle of friends. Don't lose that. Too many people get into relationships and start isolating themselves. They stop seeing their friends, they stop doing the things they love, and they make their entire world revolve around their partner. But that's a dangerous game, because if the relationship ends, who are you left with? Yourself. And if you've spent so much time losing yourself in the relationship, you might not even recognize the person in the mirror anymore. Maintain your own independence. Keep your hobbies, your friendships, and your passions alive. A relationship should be a part of your life, not the only thing in your life. 4. Set boundaries and stick to them. Love doesn't mean saying yes to everything. It doesn't mean sacrificing your own happiness just to keep your partner happy. It means knowing where to draw the line. If something makes you uncomfortable, speak up. If you need space, take it. If you feel like you're being treated unfairly, stand your ground. Because love without boundaries is not love, it's codependency. And codependency is a fast track to losing yourself in a relationship. A healthy relationship is built on mutual respect. If your partner truly loves you, they will respect your need for independence, for personal space, and for maintaining your own identity. If they don't, then you have to ask yourself, is this really love or is it control? 5. Don't be afraid to walk away. One of the biggest mistakes people make is staying in relationships where they are no longer growing. They hold on because they're afraid of being alone, afraid of starting over, or afraid of hurting the other person. But here's the truth: losing yourself is far worse than losing a relationship. If you ever feel like you have to suppress your true self just to keep someone in your life, then it's not love. If you have to constantly prove your worth or beg for respect, then it's not love. Love should not be a battle for survival. It should feel safe. It should feel like home. And if a relationship is making you lose yourself, then the bravest thing you can do is walk away and find yourself again. 6. Love yourself first. At the end of the day, the most important relationship you will ever have is the one with yourself. No partner, no relationship, no amount of love from someone else can replace the love you need to have for yourself. When you truly love yourself, you won't allow yourself to be in relationships that demand too much and give too little. You won't tolerate disrespect. You won't sacrifice your own happiness just to make someone else comfortable. Love is beautiful, but self-love is essential. Because when you love yourself, you set the standard for how others should love you. So go ahead, love deeply, love passionately, and love fearlessly, but never, ever lose yourself in the process. Because the moment you do, it stops being love, it becomes sacrifice. And real love, it never asks you to sacrifice who you are. This keeps Priyanka Chopra's powerful, confident, and empowering tone. Let me know if you'd like any refinements. Sure, here's an expanded version of Choose a King, not a clown, in Priyanka Chopra's bold, confident, and empowering style. Listen up, ladies. Who you choose as your partner will either elevate you or drain you. Your choice in a man isn't just about romance, it's about the quality of your life. A woman who knows her worth doesn't settle for a man who treats her like an option. She doesn't entertain clowns, she chooses a king. But what does that mean? A king is a man who respects you, values you, and supports your growth. He doesn't feel threatened by your strength, he celebrates it. He doesn't try to control you, he trusts you. He doesn't make you question your worth, he reminds you of it. A clown? Oh, he's a different story. He plays games, makes empty promises, and treats love like a joke. He enjoys the chase, but the moment things get real, he disappears. He wants a woman who will stroke his ego, not one who will challenge him to be better. And let me tell you something real: if you allow a clown into your life, don't be surprised when he turns your world into a circus. A queen doesn't waste time on a man who can't meet her at her level. She doesn't make excuses for disrespect. She doesn't beg for love. And she sure as hell doesn't lower her standards just to keep a man around. Because the truth is, a real man, a king, will step up, while a clown will expect you to step down. 1. A king respects you, a clown plays games. A real man respects your time, your boundaries, and your emotions. He doesn't ghost you one day and sweet talk you the next. He doesn't make you guess where you stand. He is consistent, his words match his actions. If he says he's going to call, he calls. If he makes plans, he follows through. A clown, he's all about confusion. One day he's all over you, and the next he's distant. He loves the thrill of the chase, but doesn't know what to do once he has you. He keeps you in a loop of mixed signals and false hope. And trust me, a queen doesn't have time for games. 2. A king supports your dreams. A clown feels threatened. A king wants to see you win. He's your biggest cheerleader, not your biggest critic. He encourages you to chase your goals, to be ambitious, and to dream big. He doesn't see your success as competition. He sees it as a victory for both of you. A clown, he'll tell you to calm down, that you're too ambitious, that you should be more realistic. He'll make you feel guilty for focusing on yourself. Why? Because your growth threatens him. He wants a woman who stays small, who doesn't outshine him, who makes him the center of her world. But listen, you were not put on this earth to shrink yourself for anyone. 3. A king communicates like a man. A clown avoids hard conversations. A mature man doesn't run from difficult conversations. He doesn't ghost you when things get tough. He listens, he communicates, and he works through issues like an adult. If there's a problem, he faces it. A clown, he dodges responsibility. He avoids confrontation. He disappears when things get real. Instead of talking like a man, he gives you the silent treatment or turns everything into a joke. And let's be honest, what's more embarrassing than a grown man who can't have a mature conversation? 4. A king makes you feel safe. A clown keeps you on edge. A real man makes you feel secure, not just physically, but emotionally. You don't have to wonder if he's loyal, if he's serious, if he truly loves you. You know, he protects your heart and your trust. A clown, he keeps you second guessing. He flirts with other women and calls you insecure when you bring it up. He avoids labels because he doesn't like pressure. He makes you feel like you have to earn his love. And let me tell you something, real love is not a game show. You don't compete for a man's attention. You don't fight to be chosen. A king chooses you, and he makes sure you know it. 5. A king adds to your life, a clown drains it. A right man will bring peace to your life, not chaos. He will uplift you, inspire you, and make your world better. He won't make you cry more than he makes you smile. He won't leave you feeling exhausted, confused, or undervalued. A clown? He'll drain your energy, your confidence, and your happiness. You'll spend more time overthinking his actions than actually enjoying the relationship. You'll feel like you're constantly chasing something that never fully exists. And that's because a clown was never meant to be a king. 6. A king steps up, a clown makes excuses, a real man steps up. He doesn't let you carry the relationship on your own. He takes accountability. He shows up for you in every way that matters. A clown. He always has an excuse. He's too busy, he's not ready, he needs time. But here's the thing, when a man truly wants to be with you, he makes it happen. No excuses, no delays, he chooses you. Final thoughts, don't lower your crown. The truth is, you set the standard for how people treat you. If you allow a clown into your life, he'll turn everything into a circus. If you raise your standards and refuse to settle, you'll attract a king. So ask yourself, is he lifting you up or is he dragging you down? Is he a partner or is he a distraction? Is he a man or is he just a boy in a grown man's body? A queen doesn't waste time trying to turn a clown into a king. She simply walks away and waits for the man who deserves her. So fix your crown, raise your standards, and never ever settle for less than you deserve. Because a woman who knows her worth doesn't beg, doesn't chase, and doesn't compromise on her self-respect. She chooses a king, not a clown. This keeps Priyanka Chopra's fearless, confident, and unapologetic energy. Let me know if you'd like any changes.